Hey guys, so weight loss is actually a simple formula, but being consistent is the key. Um, there are so many ways that you can lose weight. All works. Some of them you can even gain weight back. The most popular way to lose weight and the safest way to lose weight is a calorie deficit. You can also do keto. It's not healthy. I won't recommend it, but people do lose weight on it. Well, weight is like water, fat, and even muscle mass. Um, there's low carb calorie deficit as well, which is basically something like the keto pattern, but you get to eat a little more carbs. There's also intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is basically a calorie deficit, but in a time pattern. You have to eat it in a certain window. You still have to be in a calorie deficit. There's also OMAD and carnivore. OMAD is the 1 meal a day. That's similar to intermittent fasting as well. It's just a little more tough. Carnivore, where you eat meat only. This works, but it's not recommended. It's not healthy if you look at the technical facts of it. If you're now starting, I'd recommend going like low carb calorie deficit or intermittent fasting. See, with the low carb calorie deficit, you're not completely forgetting about carbs. You still have your carbs, but just limit the amount that you're consuming, especially in certain times. The intermittent fasting, I'm on this right now, and I advise anybody who want to get a good start on diet, do the intermittent fasting. It's pretty healthy, and you will not gain any weight back because you're not cutting anything out of your diet. It is that you're eating certain things at certain time of it. Most people, there's it's where you fast for 16 hours and you have an 8 hour eating window. So 16 and 8, 24 hours. What you would do, what you do is at 8 p.m. is when you start to fast. That's when you stop eating all calories. All calorie intake stops at 8 p.m. Remember, this timing you could change it up to suit your lifestyle or your work schedule and so on. But this is basic for most people. What you do is you start your fast at 8 p.m., which is when you stop your intake of all calories at 8 p.m. You can have water right through the 16 hours fasting window. When you wake up, you can have tea or coffee or just water. The tea or coffee, you cannot add any sugar, any sweetener, any creamer to it. No Splendor, no Truvia, no stevia, no monk fruit sweetener, nothing added to it. I wouldn't recommend adding lemon either to it. Just have plain black coffee or tea or water. And at 12 p.m. is when you break your fast. And just before 12 p.m. breakfast, you could drink as much water as you want during the fast. That's a good thing about it. So whenever you get hungry or thirsty, you just keep drinking water. I would say drink at least 2 liters of water for an entire day. That's good for your diet. When you break your fast with a liquid food. For example, a soup or a smoothie or protein shake. And then you could have a solid lunch. Or if you could have a solid lunch to break your fast, that's fine. But what happens is that your body not gonna able to take in that solid food after fasting for like 16 hours. What you do now for lunch is that you have a solid protein, you have your carbs like rice, sweet potato and so on, and then you have your veggies, fiber. So that's a solid lunch. That should be maybe 500, 600, 700 calories. That's fine. In the afternoon around 4 o'clock or even 5 o'clock, you could have a fruit like yogurt or a fruit. And around 6, 7 o'clock, you could have your dinner. Let the dinner be a nice solid protein like chicken, fish, or anything with a lot of vegetables. I wouldn't recommend going carbs on the dinner, or if you have to have the carbs, just have some amount of carbs. But you could eat the carbs, it's fine. But I would pattern it that way, that you just go a little easy on the carbs for dinner, and you have like water or anything sometime before you start the fasting at 8 o'clock, and you start all over again. And the first month you're bound to lose at least 10 to 15 pounds once you do it right. You could follow I have a meal pattern on my website shazali.com. You can check it out there. I put the link in the description so you could get access to it. During the fast, you cannot I want to remind you again, during the fast you cannot consume any calories. Coconut water, no juices or anything like that. During the eating window, do not use sugar. I wouldn't recommend using added sugar. Sugar does nothing for the body besides giving energy, and you can get energy from so many other places. Sugar have so many side effects, like in terms of diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and so on. So I wouldn't recommend using sugar. There are safe sweeteners you can use. Obviously, we using them moderately. You could fast 5 days for the entire week, or fast every day if you could manage it. And don't forget, you don't have to worry about gaining weight back, because you're not cutting anything out of your diet. It's there, just that you're eating them in a pattern. If you have any questions about this intermittent fasting, you could just hit me up in the comments, and I'll respond to you as soon as I can. Here's some other tips about the fasting. What you need to do is get enough sleep. I'd highly recommend that. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Just find a way to get it in. 2 liters of water daily. And if you have a lot of cravings, especially in the night, drink green tea. They're decaffeinated versions as well. You could drink green tea. You could add the sweetener at that time if you want, but you could drink green tea during the fasting time too, but you cannot sweeten it. But you could sweeten it during the eating window. So yeah, that's a quick guideline on the intermittent fasting. I'm on my second month of it right now, and I'm down about 13 pounds in the 2 months. In the second month now, coming into the second month. So it's a healthy fast, where you fast for 16 hours. You can also go less hours, like 14 hours or even 12 hours. If the 16 hours is too hard for you, then you eventually build your way up. In terms of medication, if you take medication, you could seek advice from your doctor when to use it, or if you can use it during the fasting, because a lot of medication, you need food, you need to take it with a meal. Supplements, on one hand, you could take the supplements just before you start the fast and just after you break your fast. Gummy supplements is a bit of an issue. You cannot take the gummy supplements during the fasting period. You could take them when you break the fast. Certain medications that are allowed to take on empty stomach, you could take them during the fast. Those are the drinkable, uncoated ones, of course. So yeah, that's basically the basics about intermittent fasting. Your body will feel so much better doing intermittent fasting. I mean, I'm still on the fasting. I'm seeing a lot of progress, and I'm feeling so much better. I not too long ago break my fast, and I'm having a shake, protein shake right now. Right? Then I'll have a solid lunch for mine. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. You'll be notified when I post a new video. Cheers.